This does bring up another issue. One of the things I objected to in the evaluation policy for lecturers that got in there, that I don't remember being there when the policy was presented to JN and me, was that it's up to the chancellor, for any lecturer who's going to teach more than 12 credit hours, it needs to be approved at the chancellor's level. That limits the number of credit hours lecturers can teach. The other thing that I've been told by our chair that may be happening in our department is that they're throwing the lecture budget to the department. So the departments will have to cover lecture funds, which means the chairs, and I've told JN, be prepared for a slew of concerns about this issue. If the chairs are pressured to stay within their budget and cover the courses, they may go to the low limit of what the contract guarantees for long-term lecturers, which is 9 credit hours, which sucks.
And we have one over here, and then I'm going to go over here and over here.
I like to move away a little bit, but you kind of touched on it. So the system can be seeing a budget shortfall. I'm kind of hearing that. And so can they touch instructional money, such as money that's going to be returned to us due to the, remember that payroll lag that we have? Can they touch that?
No.
If you're talking about the payroll lag of our we used to get paid on the 1st and the 15th, and now, okay, because some people have asked me about that. That's never going back to the way it was. That will never go back to the 1st and the 15th. But in terms of the snapback payment, the final payment of that, there's been great work on that, and I believe the governor announced, did he not announce?
Yes. It's in his budget.
That it's in the budget to make sure that the money is allocated through the legislature and not thrust upon the institution to cover it.
But the institution will cover it if push comes to shove. And they have a contract, and actually the contract is with the governor and the state, not just the university. So that's the line we're taking. It's not just a UH problem, it's you guys signed off on the contract.
I take the position that the contract is law. It's the law. If you don't follow the contract, you're not following the law, and I'm going to let you know about it if I find out.
That's a very good point, thank you. I think, and I can't speak for everyone else, but when I was DC, if I'm not mistaken, it was lecturers went from rank to rank based on the amount of credits that they had taught. Nothing having to do with evaluation, really, it was just the amount of credits. And so what happened was, at a time when we needed we needed people to fill in as instructors, we gave a lot of credits. Now we have these people at C level who are almost demanding, that what they want, and that's interesting. The other issue I have, and I don't think this might be an UPA thing, but maybe a campus thing, is we don't have training for department chairs. They don't know. They just dive into it without, right into the frying pan. And so, in Caroline's case, she said she was pushed in. We gently nudged her. Maybe kicked her in, but anyway. Yeah, so it becomes and I see this not only at the DC level, but just, we don't seem to have a system where we help people reach higher levels. And I think that's something that needs to be looked into. I don't know that UPA can help us with that, but I think we need to go to maybe the vice president or the vice chancellors at the system level to see if we can have some kind of training for people, because we're all kind of blindly going up there, and before you know it, you have these people who then go into administration, and they're really not ready for that level. They're not well equipped.
Peter principle.
I'm just quickly going to add that I think it is something that UPA could take a role in. because UPA needs to have a part in training those department chairs to avoid the kinds of problems that end up as grievances with UPA. So it's in our interest to do that. So certainly, perhaps working with the administration and UPA, that would be something that could be done. I know at the NOAA we do have training for department chairs. So it does exist. There is a model for that. So it's important.
I just want to come on this side because yin and yang, there's too much yin on that side. I want to come to the yang side. Because we're almost out of time. So I want to give the folks here a chance to, I'm on your side now. Somebody hasn't spoke yet? Will be good? Folks, you got that? Okay.
I was curious about training for administrators. Is there any way that UPA can encourage our administrators to get training?
Their management.
Okay.
No, they've sent some of them out for training on how to be human beings and other things. The attitude was that if you're hired as an administrator, you should know what you're doing. You shouldn't have on-the-job training. That's not necessarily true.
Okay, I'd just like to add a couple things. I'm actually the academic senate chair at the campus this year and last year. Our executive committee, by popular demand from faculty, is planning to implement an admin evaluation in spring. A 360, but not done through the system, is going to be done through SurveyMonkey. And because we really want to get a handle on how people feel about what's going on the campus. Is there any way to evaluate the department chairs at the same time? Or would that have to be a separate process?
I don't know. We do a kind of survey monkey of our department chairs. I don't think it's anything that's outside the bounds of the contract.
Okay. I was just curious because people had mentioned that as well.
Yeah.
The other thing that our Senate and the Executive Committee has discussed this and decided we're going to do is develop a policy that would I don't know how to say this, force our administrators to come to us when they plan organizational change and get approval for it. Because we've gone through quite a bit of organizational change without us knowing about it. It's kind of like the informational collaboration. In other words, we find out after the decision has been made, and it's called collaboration, but it's actually more informational in nature. So those are the things that, those of you that don't come to Senate meetings, those are the things that the Executive Committee has discussed and that we plan to do in spring that I think kind of resonates the voice of a lot of what's been said here today.
Something similar happened at Maui, and basically our Senate Chair, Ann Emsley, invited the Vice Chancellors in, and we were not a representative Senate, it's the whole gang. And they had to explain what was going on straight, and they now realize that if they do anything like that, they're coming in and they have to explain. So it's still, I mean, I don't think we can really stop it from, we're trying to get them to go through us first, but at least they know that they're going to have to face us at the end, so if that helps a little.
Yeah, actually, it's Board of Regents policy, if there's a reorganization, that you have to consult with the Faculty Senate. That's M301.1.
It's only the technical, they've got the
Yeah, but M301.1, there's been some dispute. I mean, when I was Faculty Senate Chair, I fought with Virginia Hinshaw. They wanted to close down a facility, and I said, you have to come and consult with us. That's part of M301.1. And I kept reminding her every time I saw her that that was what they had to do. It was an ongoing struggle, but in the end, we prevailed. So you just have to keep in their face and keep reminding them that this is what they need to do and that they're in violation of that policy.
Don't they have to consult with UPA as well?
Oh yeah, with UPA as well.
They have to consult.
So if they don't consult with you, come talk to UPA.
We'll take one more
One
comment.
more here and then David's going to close it, right? Okay.
Hi, I'm Christine. I work in the counseling office. With just a follow-up question with Helen's comment about the reorganization happening in our student affairs department. So a few of us with the restructure are left without a department chair. And so I wanted to know should a faculty member have a faculty chair? And if they don't, what does the contract renewal or tenure and promotion process look like for them? Because it seems like you're eliminating that DC, and previously they would have had a DC reviewing them for tenure and promotion. So what happens?
I would suggest contacting the staff at UPA, because I think you're right, that it should be a contract issue, but I don't feel qualified to give you a definitive answer, but certainly get in touch with Jim Kardash or Chris Hanselman. And
593-2157.
Operator standing by.
Yeah, we have an issue like this at our campus. In fact, kind of with the counselors, the reverse. They're being forced to, what are they being, they're being forced to come up with DPC procedures. And yet they don't feel confident that it's going to be fair. So it does happen that there are some situations where there's not a faculty over. I think in our International Education Center there was that issue. We got into some bad things where faculty were being evaluated by non-faculty. That is an absolute no-no at the first level. So yeah, I agree, contact the office and see exactly where you can go with that.